شباب يمنيك بفطرة يمنيك بفطرة يمنيك جيل الغدر راجيك يا دوب جنجم فيك طالبت بالتغيير تعليم علاج تعمير كافينا من تدمير سلمية رفع اليد سموك بالمحوس قتلوك زي صيدك بطلقة من مجروس للأرزق الوسواس قتال ولاد الناس بطلقة فوق الراس علشان بيهتف بس
The revolution is often made to look childish and impossible because who will do all those undesirable jobs? Well, brace yourself. It turns out people don't have to be compelled at the threat of poverty, despair, and death to do jobs like cleaning, farming, and care work, including childcare and elder care. Someone on TikTok asked people what jobs they do for no pay after the revolution, and friends, we have nothing to worry about when it comes to who will do those boring or bad jobs. Here are people saying they'd be janitors, dishwashers, they'd work in waste management, and so much more. People offering to farm and cook and share that food and help us build community with each other. Tony Kade Bambara said the job of the artist is to make the revolution irresistible. A massive thanks to all of these creators for reminding us that the revolution is possible, and more than that, for making it damn irresistible. Viva la revolution.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever, simply because it satisfies your soul and you enjoy doing it. Me, I'll start. I would happily make coffee for people after the revolution for no pay.
Oh, I've too many ideas. Okay. So firstly, the kind of menial work that people struggle with that they usually just do for a paycheck, like bookkeeping, secretarial work, things like that. I love that shit. It tickles my ADHD just so. I think something like environmental cleanup would also be great. The thing is, in a post-revolutionary world, everyone's needs are met. In terms of food, shelter, clean water, clothes, education, healthcare, that stuff is ideally in a post-revolutionary world guaranteed. It would give humanity the chance to choose to change. That's the whole point of working the jobs we have now, is so that we won't revolt.
After the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
Farming and growing trees, something that everybody can benefit from,
After the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would eat, breathe, shit, community organizing. I would just do that full time.
For no pay whatsoever.
Waste management. Oh my god, I would do waste management immediately. Okay, I have been interested in waste management since I took a field trip with my school and elementary school to a water treatment plant, and I found it fascinating. I was in love. I was asking them a million different questions. I was so excited. I was in heaven, and it was just so cool to see what goes on behind the scenes, and that it's so sophisticated, and well, it should be when it's working correctly, and it's just so cool. And then I started just learning more and more and more about waste management over time. I toured recycling facilities. I talked to garbage collectors. It's just so interesting.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I love my job. I love being a librarian, and I would totally do it without pay if I didn't have to, do all the capitalist stuff. Also, I love cooking, and I might do that, except I think I'm a little too old for the stress of a commercial kitchen. And art, of course, but I'm already doing that for free.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I know some of y'all might think this is crazy, but literally janitor. Places have to be clean. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want a lot of responsibility. Janitor.
After the revolution for no pay whatsoever, simply because it's
4 days out of the week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would dedicate all those days to opening up a cafe and talking to people. I would give them drinks. I would pour them whatever they want. I'd talk to them all day. Give them little treats. And then then for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, dedicate all my time to making videos and drawing art and reading books. That is what I would love to do. It would be perfect. I'd have an arcade cabinet there, maybe some bookshelves over there, give out a daily recommended book. I would love
a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I just want to be a chicken farmer. I just want to raise chickens and eat eggs and chicken.
Do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would help people like clean their houses, because that shit can get overwhelming. And I know a lot of people will not reach out for help for that kind of a thing. So like, invite me over for some coffee and I'll get to work. I'll take care of those dishes after we're done with the coffee.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would gladly take care of injured, sick, orphaned, abandoned pets.
The job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever, simply because.
Oh, what a great question. So many things. Grow food, grow vegetables. I would grow food for people.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay.
Ooh, so I actually was going to say the same thing as this creator, but instead of using this as my little capitalism and Starbucks rant like I usually would, I'm going to go with my second option, which would be childcare. Especially post-revolution, I think something that is already presently lacking in a lot of like actual real-life leftist spaces is what the fuck we do with children. Not enough leftist spaces even consider that childcare is a needed thing for if we're all going to be participating and like putting in stuff for a society together. And me saying that I would do it for free post-revolution doesn't mean that like people who nanny or do childcare now shouldn't get paid, because the society we have at its present time, everyone needs to fucking eat for their labor. One of the biggest issues that our society has right now concerning children is that we think we can just push them off and not include them in part of the learning and teaching and conversation. And right now, both parents and non-parents and children are paying for it.
Job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would do a lot. I would take care of the elderly and write down all of their stories into a book. I would take care of babies and I would teach kids how to read. I would also teach them how to make.
Stitch this with a job that you would do.
Childcare. Childcare. Got the sound machine.
Job that you would do after the revolution for no pay.
Short version? Teach history. I mean, like, I've got a master's degree in it. I might as well be using it for something. And for the record, I mean, like, I would also love to get paid for it, but, you know, whatever.
Job that you would do after the revolution for no.
Easy peasy. The job I do now. I work with toddlers. I help them learn. I show them how to feel good in their bodies. And it is the biggest dopamine rush ever. And I love it. And I would still do it.
After the revolution for no pay.
I would wash dishes 100%. How many of you have worked in a restaurant where they cannot get the dish crew in order? It is absolute fucking mayhem. And one of my first jobs was working at a nursing home and as a dietary aide. And so I learned how to rack and unrack dishes. Probably in like 20 minutes, I could do like 3 floors of dining room dinner service of dishes in and out. And it's just a really satisfying thing to accomplish, because it just feels like you have this whole stack here, then you put it through, and then it's done. Dishwashers are the most important people on a restaurant staff, you know, and if you know, you know.
You would do after the revolution for no.
Okay, so I look rough, but I would happily cook for people and make them cute little jewelry.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would keep doing what I'm already doing, making coffee and doing people's hair. Yeah.
After the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
My fiance and I were literally just talking about this last night. They are a chef. They would love to continue baking and providing food to people. I want to take care of children And it's always been my dream to be a tour guide. I like talking to people and like telling them about things. So like, can we still have museums and stuff?
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
Okay, I would write like musicals and I would get little kids to perform them for the public.
That you would do after the revolution for no.
If the apocalypse happened or a revolution happens, I would love to nothing more than to make things like blankets, scarves, hats, socks, you name it, I can make it probably. Or a gardener, and I can give away my produce. I have a green thumb, and yeah, I just need more land. That's it. Yeah, I would do those things happily.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would bake you bread. You never have to worry about waiting for the yeast to rise or whether or not you're doing it right or freak out about it. I will just bake you bread. I will bake you loaves of bread. I will bake bread for everyone. I will be the person who bakes everyone's bread.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
Travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something.
With a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
Babysitting. Yup. Babysitting. Like watching the kids or the animals or the toddlers, babysitting.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
Oh, that one is simple for me. I would literally just switch into full-time mixed multimedia artisthood. That's just all I would do.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
I'm an Enneagram 6 with a 7 wing. Of course, I would make the plans. And I'd be damn good at it too.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever. Simply.
I would totally grow my own food and cook for people. Hands down, 100%. No pay.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay.
I'd have a little farm and I'd grow flowers and fruits and vegetables for my neighbors, and I would teach kids how to raise animals and work the land.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever, simply because it satisfies your soul and you enjoy doing it.
I was a toy designer. I would do that again. That'd be fun. Not like a Geppetto weird thing, but like making toys for kids. Yeah, that's what I'd do.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay.
Weekly book club dance party cafe. First we read, then we dance. Then we read and then we dance. We drink tea.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
This job. It'll be this job. Also a baby.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
Sound healing. I would heal people with frequencies and vibrations so we don't drive ourselves insane.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
Pardon my voice, but I'm sick. The answer to this is super easy for me. I would be a tailor or a seamstress. Somebody who makes clothes, fixes clothes. I don't know, I just think it would be really nice. And they'd be custom too.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay what.
A writer. I love to write. I love to be able to entertain people and tell stories. I always have. I always will.
Job that you would do after the revolution for no.
I would cook. Oh my God, I would cook. I'm a trained chef. I love food. I love feeding people. It's what I do. I would start a little backyard garden, raise my own livestock, all of it for free. Free food for everybody, made with love.
You would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever, simply because it satisfies.
I would help others heal their traumas and reconnect with themselves and their ancestors and their original purpose.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
They said that they would happily make people coffee. I think that I would help look after children.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
I would happily, freely give all the metaphysical and physical herbal knowledge that I have to anyone.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
Calligraphy, cooking, gardening, small things.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
I would definitely see myself sitting with a bunch of kids around me, reading kids' books, just watching them laugh and get into the story.
You would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
Run a little food truck with locally sourced goods to pass out to people for free, because nothing brings people together like food does. So yeah, just a little thing that we could do as a community with free food at a little food truck and have fun.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
I think this is such a cute idea. I would happily teach your children art for no pay. Bring me so much joy.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would write books. I do that for no pay already until people start buying my books, but I would continue to do that for no pay. But in the meantime, buy my books.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
Art or anything that involves creativity, building, anything that involves doing hands-on tasks. And if school weren't an issue, volcanology.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would make art, because I do that a lot of times for free anyway. But I would also love to read out loud to people of all ages, from kids to adults to older folks. Yeah, I would love to be just like the community storyteller.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
Gardening. I would plant native flowers to the areas that I was in, and I would put together community gardens. I would plant flowers and vegetables that were easy to grow. And I would teach people how to take care of them, how to grow them, how to change out crops as needed. That way it would solve some hunger. That way it would be more sustainable. That way people could maybe find some joy in it as I do. You know? Make the world a little bit happier, bring back some butterflies and insects and bees and stuff. You know?
Job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever, simply because it's.
I would happily garden and grow things and share it with everyone.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no.
I would grow weed. I would just grow weed. That's it. I'd grow weed.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay what.
This, after the revolution, I still want to be a massage therapist.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
This job. I'd be doing this job, but I wouldn't kill myself doing it.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
Hey, the answer is paint. I would paint. If I could just paint portraits in exchange for food and a roof over my head. Oh, please.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I've thought about this a lot, and I would like to be an animal's personal assistant. And masseuse. An animal masseuse and animal care.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay.
Plant, grow, and harvest food for people to eat for free. I would spend all day outside with my hands in the dirt and service to others.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
I would sing and facilitate music events and choirs and host gatherings. Oh, it's gonna be a cute one.
Stitch this with a job that you would do after the revolution for no pay whatsoever.
If pilots are still a thing, I would have to be a pilot because I have crazy peripheral vision. Otherwise, I would be a singer, a dancer, writer, author.